Anyways, guys, a TVT underway. I'm Rifkin, joined today by Zombie Grub. You're watching the Starbow Invitational, $1,200 up for grabs in today's prize pool, provided by Twitch, provided by Razer, and of course donated partially by the community. So this is truly an awesome tournament, and I'm really glad that we get to be a part of it. For now, though, spawning in the top right corner of the map, it's going to be the red Terran player from Acer Innovation.
And on the left side, as the blue Terran, it is Axiom's Ryoung.
What was he saying? I didn't...
So, for those of you who don't know, is the clans are actually a really big deal in Brood War in Korea, and that's actually a clan. Join with the parentheses like that. I guess Call with the parentheses like that was probably a clan too. So he's referring to that.
Learning with Zombie Grub.
Oh yeah, that's why like a Never Die Jaedong. You know, he said that on his Twitter. That was actually his clan, like and die.
I just thought it was like a cool thing he would always say, like I'm Jaedong, never die. Like,
well, it's also just a cool thing he would say. It's like Slayer's Boxer. Slayer's he named himself Slayer's Boxer, but he actually had like a small clan named Slayers that then he joined a real team, and then when he went to StarCraft, he was like, I'll recreate the Slayers clan.
That's kind of neat.
The more you know.
Yeah. One thing, I guess, real quick, again, we're not going to baby down the cast today because we're assuming a lot of people who are coming up for the big Invitational Starbow tournament know about it. We'll try and keep the terms relative for those of you who are watching for the first time ever, but understand that TVT is actually not too much different from regular StarCraft 2. Like, there's not suddenly this huge, like, I guess Vultures would be the only unit that's more incorporated, but they've replaced the Hellions in that regard. Spider Mines are cool, but tanks are kind of still the focal point of this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference really is that bio is very not used. Just like the same difference in, you know, versus Protoss, pretty much. It's almost always going to be mech versus mech. There's probably some cheeses, probably some early attacks that are going to include some bio, but very rarely you're going to see 3 barracks in a TVT.
Yeah, it's funny too, because for those who don't know why a lot of it's hampered down, there's no longer medevacs, it's dropships. So you have to actually spend a space inside the dropship like dedicated to like 1 or 2 medics. So suddenly your marine job goes from the power of 8 to the power of like 7 or 6, which might not seem that significant right off the bat, but their damage is cut by quite a bit, even with just losing 1 like that.
I was going to say it's because they don't have Marauders as well, so tanks are a lot better, but they actually have Marauders. It's just that Marauders actually aren't as good as they are in StarCraft 2.
There's not the bonus versus armored effect.
Right, because they don't want to, because yeah, the Marauder kind of messed up a lot of things, and that's why bio is so good against Protoss StarCraft 2. You know, mess up, quote unquote, but...
Well, you know, it's actually worth bringing up here again for the more casualized audience is there's no bonus versus armored versus light or anything like that. It's sizes in Starbow. So like a big, medium unit or small unit are like the qualifiers for damage, not being armored or light or what have you. SCV actually going to get in here for a bit of a scout. Seeing the factory early on like this is nothing too crazy, but ooh, actually first blood by the Ryung's SCV. What a badass! But this is scary because Vultures early on are really difficult to deal with as a Terran player if you don't have your own. You very literally have to match your opponent's production in the early game. Yeah,
it's very, I would say, technical right now. Once they start trying to get into those skirmishes, it's going to be whoever messes up their, I guess, chrono boost in this TVT first. We do have a slight diversion as the 1-player Innovation is going to go for an armory, while Ryung is going to go up to that starport. So, you know, in Brood War, like, I think TVT Starbow was actually really interesting. In Brood War, it was like, you could go for up to race, I suppose, but a lot was just factory-based, like TVP. And this one, you can be like StarCraft 2 and get that 1-1-1. Go for the Banshees. Their cloak isn't permanent, but they're very strong anyways.
I don't know, their DPS is not... You're right, they're strong, I won't argue with that, but their DPS isn't the same as it is in StarCraft 2. Like, it's very... I feel neutered, because it's not bad, it's just not insanely good.
It'd be way too good, but you don't have to research cloak, right? So...
Yeah, I guess that's the trade-off. And it's... Well, no, you still have to research, I think. No, it comes... Yeah. Wait, doesn't it come equipped? I'm pretty sure it comes equipped, and it's just no energy cost.
Yeah, no energy cost. It's like a timer, so it's only cloaked for like 8 seconds or something like that.
When normal StarCraft 2 casters cast Starbow.
Right, like, well, here are the Vulture Wars that we're talking about, so just slightly better micro on one end, actually.
Way better, because actually Ryoung escaped with the ones to the south, not just these
Ryoung was pretty good. The Goliaths come in and they're like, poke. So they don't do a lot of damage. I mean, they do actually pretty good damage, but they're also really tanky, so the Vultures can't, you know, necessarily engage that, and it's kind of funny watching these two just walk inside the base. Alrighty then.
Well, I mean, it's gonna be one of those like acceptable losses scenario, right? Like if it keeps you alive and drives the Goliaths out, you're gonna have to just lose a couple of these vultures. But again, Ryung doing a pretty good job of controlling this, not really taking too much damage. But Innovation, I've not seen anyone do a Goliath push per se, but it's working.
It's actually super interesting because he's also going to have defense of the Banshee at home. That was one thing that's worrying, but with the reactor,
actually the Banshee's just going to go into town right now. I'm surprised he hasn't. There we go. 2 Goliaths going to rally to it.
Oh, they also only 3-shot SCVs. That's another difference.
Yeah, like I said, their damage has been cut a bit just due to the way medium and armored and all these things were changed out. But anyways, pushing with the Goliaths now. There's a siege tank here, and that's going to add a little bit of damage to this. But there's no meat. There's no buffer. The vultures are going to soak these hits, but as we see, they're going down very quickly.
I mean, I kind of expected Ryoung to take that fight. Well, actually, with more Goliaths coming across, maybe not. But not as badly as he did. He actually lost a lot, and he's having to bring SCVs to mass repair. He's going to hold it off just with, as the tanks pop out, and of course, siege mode, he can eventually push out. But Innovation's in a really good position because he, supply doesn't tell the tale, but he's like going to be able to expand. He is defending at home, although he actually has lost a lot of SCPs.
And in like normal StarCraft 2, this Banshee would have like 40 kills on it at this point,
yeah.
but as we see, only 5.
Thank their attention to balance, I suppose.
That's actually cool. I will give a big nod to that. If you guys don't know, the Starbow admins balance this on like almost a day-to-day basis. It's more like realistically like a week-to-week basis, but like even small changes like model changes, like if you guys didn't see the early days of Starbow, the Scourge was like a flying baneling. I mean, even small attentive details
cool.
like I like that one. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah.
I wish they kept it.
But like even the smaller attentive to detail, like, or attention to details like that is huge when it comes to balance. And I want to remind you guys, it's not like a paid staff of like 40 people working on this game. It's just the passion driven by the people who have helped create it, and they're streaming this today. So I know it's kind of like it sounds like a cheap plug, but realistically, go check out SC2_Starbow on Twitch because that's the creators, December's Calm and Zyphus. If I'm saying those names wrong, I'm sorry, but yeah, without them we wouldn't have Starbow.
Well, here's the downside to what Innovation was doing. His tanks are super, super late. In fact, he's not going to have any. He's going to have Vultures and Goliaths, which they're probably going to be able to hold off for a little while. But this, Ryung sieges up in a choke, which is what the natural is. Then maybe he can do a lot of damage.
I mean, Innovation could try and pull back a little bit, but you're right. Without his own siege tanks,
he pulls SCVs immediately. I like this. I like it a lot.
I was gonna say, yeah, without his own siege tanks, defensively he couldn't hold this, but if he pushes out and gets aggressive like this, that's actually fantastic. As we see, he's gonna win this fight, which is, thank you SCVs, the Civil Worker Union salutes you.
Yeah, the problem, it's in StarCraft 2, or any TVT, I guess, StarCraft 2 and Brood War 2, but like, if you let them get a nice position outside with tanks, and you're like, well, I'll just wait a little while, suddenly it's actually a lot worse. So actually a lot of the time it is better to just automatically pull the SCVs, go, hopefully they'll surprise them as well, and at the very least you won't, you might lose a few SCVs, but you're not going to end the game right now.
Ooh, while this was going on, we didn't catch this, but I guess Ryoung sent the Banshee back in while that fight at the front was going on, so he's up to 10 kills now. Again,
also the dropship coming out from Innovation.
Yeah, but the dropship's going to be kind of, I don't know, I feel limited in use, because Ryoung's got so much map control going right now, like he'll see that dropship.
Yeah, I agree. One thing though is Ryung did have a very, very late command center to do that push, and the push didn't actually hold up as long as he thought it would. Almost guaranteed so. And also no high ground vision. Whoops. So the Banshee actually survives for now. That's
kind of awkward. Like you want to move out and you're like, oh, there's the army. I need this at home. Innovation doesn't have siege mode yet, guys.
Ooh, that could be bad. So now he doesn't have enough units to do that push out with SCVs again. It's just
he can't break it.
He's gonna have to try and hold on, and this is where it gets really, really tough. Now, also
Banshee.
interesting. Oh, the Banshee's gonna help out too. Well, thank you.
This is looking pretty grim.
Okay, so you can actually this helicopter pad over here. You can actually put tanks on.
Yeah,
like 9% sure, unless they changed it.
You can put tanks and Reapers, because like a lot of these things you can't even jump up with Reapers, but that's one of the few ledges.
Yeah.
Innovation could lift this orbital to save it, but opting not to. This is the now he's at siege mode. Maybe this changes a bit. It's still gonna be hard to hold. I mean, there's so much more here for Ryoung.
And with the bunker too, that's a really good move. I mean, Ryoung still isn't on the 2-base economy. He's still only mining off of that 1 base, but the SCV account is actually very similar, and he can't lose the command. Okay, good. Whew. And he also has air control now, which is gonna really help out. Of course, tanks don't see as far as they can shoot.
I like the bunker being down too. This helps fortify the position, but without those barrel stabilizer upgrades, this bunker doesn't have a lot of range, so I don't think it's gonna get a lot of action either.
Look at you memorizing the names of the upgrades.
Yeah, what's up? I know all the names, it's just remembering them is the problem.
Oh, that's actually in range of that siege
Ooh.
tank, especially with the Banshee there.
Oh, and he takes a hit on the Marines instead of the other siege tank. That's gonna cost
he
him.
loses all of his siege tanks. Oh no, now he has to. He was trying to get his natural position back, and it's not gonna happen.
Big drop when this goes off. Goliath's in the base of Ryung, but I don't know if worker harass is enough to get him back in this game.
Well, it might be. I mean,
he's
he
killing
still
a lot.
has the SCP lead, and yeah, he's killing a surprising amount. Also keeping reinforcements back for just a little while longer.
That Banshee though. SCV's on top of the siege tank. We're trying to take it out too. Spam repairing the heck out of this. This is Innovation's lifeblood right now, guys. It's the only reason Ryung's not pushing through this terrible choke is this one siege tank.
Yeah. The drop from Innovation, he just goes and mines towards his natural, and that's where Innovation goes. Unfortunately, that dropship not quite dead, and he's doing a lot of damage to the economy. Like, unfortunately, you know, if Innovation could push out, he's in a really good position, but Innovation still can't push out. So how much does this really matter? It's probably, it might be like turn out to be even. I don't know if Innovation can push out at all.
He needs to quit losing Goliaths at home though. This Banshee, it's got such a limited cloak, guys. It only lasts for 6 seconds. It's technically free because there's no energy on the Banshee, but it only lasts for 6 seconds at a time. So dipping in and out like that, keeping this one Goliath alive is critical at this point. But Goliath's still racking up the kills on the other side of the map. Ryoung and Innovation have killed a lot of workers this game.
Yeah. Innovation's still a little bit ahead, and Ryoung actually with one tank and that's it left. He has to pull back.
Wow, that drop. Did that one drop of 4 Goliaths really just save Innovation in this game? This is so good. When is this is one of the things I really get excited about for Starbow, guys, where it's like when in StarCraft 2 does like one small drop bring you back into a game in such a big way?
I'm looking at this game and I'm like, is it just going to be like that game where things happen but it kind of just levels out? And it looks that way. Army supply similar, SCV supply similar. One thing Innovation is going for is like drops, but that's not really, you know, is he ahead or not? That's just he has more opportunity to be ahead.
Yeah. Well, coming here for a drop, he's going to use the helipad to his advantage this time.
Oh yeah, helipad. That's the worst effing thing in the world. It's like Tal'Darim.
It's high ground too, and if you guys don't know, in Starbow, there's a 50% chance to miss when you're shooting uphill. So these siege tanks, which have a 4 freaking second cooldown, for them to miss is huge.
Yeah. One Goliath does go down automatically. The other tank doesn't see it. Never mind. That's Innovation's barracks. Unfortunately, Ryoung's barracks should actually come back to get that high ground vision. He's not thinking of it right now, though.
I mean, that Banshee is going back to work here in the mineral lines, unfortunately driven off by the Goliath. Command center being utilized for the high ground vision. This will get the job done.
What's the point of bringing the SCVs over there? That was weird.
I don't know. Maybe just soak the hit. Soak the hit for the tank, maybe? My best guess.
Well, the tank would have died to one tank hit anyways, but yeah, whatever. Didn't lose too many SCVs, but this drop is doing a lot of damage. Goes on top of the tanks. Actually, the Vulture's popping out just in time. Might save his SCV line.
Oh, but that Marines.
Yeah. Me too.
It boosts on a really long cooldown in Starbow, by the way, guys. Like in StarCraft 2, the boost on the medevac is on a fairly short cooldown. It's on a really long cooldown in Starbow.
Well, that's it for the harassment, and Ryoung's still down by about 4 workers, but that's it. And he's getting a faster 3rd command center. Also, as his production up, I believe.
It's phenomenal to me to see Innovation still in this game in a big way, and even to an extent where you could argue he might be looking pretty darn good.
Yeah, I think he is looking pretty good. I mean, it's not actually a big lead for either player, but it's a little bit. Well, hey.
It's Innovation. Hey. I could agree with that statement too, to be honest. But what's curious right now is both players, while this has been kind of back and forth and kind of hectic, let's be honest, they don't have a lot of production. Like, we only just now seen the 4th factory come out of Ryoung. I think Innovation's still stuck on 2. Like, these trades are actually going to become more and more effective. It's the same concept as like when you see 2 gates versus like proxies, but hang on. We got the triple drop going off in a big way over to the next base of Ryoung, and this isn't for some small harass. This is a big attack, and these siege tanks are going to go down. But
very nicely done.
Vultures get through the defensive sphere of Innovation. He could lose his worker line.
Yeah, the Goliath actually is going to go down. Oh, who did better harass? And actually, Ryoung's going to be doing the better harass. He took down all the tanks, but actually could not.
Banshee's still alive.
Oh, A drop in the main, though, as well from Innovation, and more Goliath drops. This guy really likes the Goliath in Starbow. I don't know what's up with this, but...
They treat him well. They've gotten back into this game in a big way once, maybe again, but Siege Tank up here on the high ground keeps mining for going on. Both players have lost so many workers, not just this game, but in the last few moments. But
Innovation did take a bigger chunk of worker kills, though. He's down to 29 to 37, and Ryoung, he had that faster third command center. Innovation's right behind him, though, so not too bad. He's going to have triple SE reduction at the same time.
Finally cleans up the natural. 36 workers saturated on one base, because the main's mined out for both players pretty much at this point, which is a weird thing to consider. But again, guys, in Starbow, you mine more minerals. It's basically like having gold mineral patches. Like, you mine more per trip, so you don't really need that third or fourth bases critically. But they don't make any mistake. They need to expand.
Yeah. So you guys may be looking at this like math. It's not really mass dropship right now, but still, like, you know, 4 or 3 dropships might be a lot to see. But in TVT and Brood War, and remember, Innovation was playing Brood War for a very long time, it actually turned into like mass drops, usually a lot later. But Innovation's just using the, you know, drop, and now they have boost, which is even better, right? To like the best advantage he can.
Banshee gonna get killed here. Oh no, Juke's out with that cloak. I like to try. He's trying to use these Widow Mines. They do get a good hit off on that siege tank, but unfortunately, looks like Innovation is pretty rooted in here.
He's actually might do. Okay, he's gonna find a sweet spot, so he's gonna be able to kill a lot of supply depots first of all, and maybe a production or two. As Ryoung, what does he have? Where are his units?
They were harassing across the map not too long ago, but I guess he just doesn't have a lot right now. And I think I just called those Widow Mines, sorry, Spider Mines, Starbow, etc. But yeah, with one tank and one vulture, it's all Ryoung has at the moment. He's forced to just give up units. A big part of his army was I guess what he tried to drop with the Spider Mines and the vultures. And oh man, now there's a siege tank once again on this helipad. At this point, like, build a turret up there, man.
Can you land your barracks up there?
I don't know. But
that'd be so cool if you land the barracks so that they can't land on, like, oh, anyways. There's not enough space for them.
Ooh, nice spider mine drops there. We'll clean that up. Actually, that'd be a great thing. Just leave some spider mines up there for future drops. But
yeah.
Command center of the main, not killed but lifted off, moved over. Now the natural base is under a lot of pressure once again, and Ryoung has just no units, guys.
He doesn't. I mean, they're all up on top, and Division does drop on them, which...
Spider mines? No, they can't go uphill. Okay, cool. I just learned something awesome.
Yeah, that actually didn't turn out so well for Innovation. He was looking for maybe a kill move right there, but does have to lift up and go away. But his third, it's mining, so is Ryoung's, but Innovation's going to see this and maybe drop on it? No, doesn't decide to.
Yeah, what's really cool about this game, too, I want to... Like, I feel like we're not paid to advertise anything today, guys. Like, we were literally just asked to come cast type thing. But I want to remind everybody, this game is free. You don't actually have to buy HOTS or StarCraft 2 to play this. Like,
yeah.
And you can still get these really, really intense games. This is game 1! This is game 1! We've still got more to come after this. So, Innovation and Ryung putting in a great show for us so far. And it's, might just be over here in a second, though. This drop might just be a little too much, I fear.
Yeah, I think so, too. I mean, you know, it is a lot of supply in drops, which is always funny to consider, drop ships rather, but Innovation still up by about 40 is a big deal. And takes down 2 tanks immediately. GG.
Innovation. Yeah, that's just it. Innovation. Period.
I'm not surprised if Innovation takes this tournament, simply because, you know, you're saying like Starbow isn't Brood War or StarCraft 2, and it's not. There's, you know, there's both, and there's also some things different, but it has played out to be more suited towards Brood War style.
Yes,
you know, people who have more experience with that are going to be just, you know, they're going to have that edge. And of course, they have been practicing in the Axiom in-house tournaments as well. So that's why these guys are specifically really good.
I have a rather important update for everybody. Looks like TT1 shows up now, and rather than being disqualified from the tournament, they just disqualified him for the first round. So we will not be jumping immediately into the decider match after this. It'll instead be RSVP versus TT1 after this series is finished up. So, woo!
I think that's fair.